All right, here we go. Welcome back to the KR Daily Transmission. I'm pretty amped to be here live with you for a couple of reasons. First of all, I've been kind of in cell phone hell for the past 3 days. Yeah, that Mercury retrograde when it went direct, I don't even understand what just happened, but I just literally, it's why I'm like, hi, I just had a miracle. And the best part about it was that it's what I'm going to share about for YouTube Live. So yes, this is the live. If you're joining us live, feel free to say hello in the chat. Okay, so yeah, so I'm really amped to share what I'm going to share with you. And this won't be very long because, of course, we have our Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective call. It's at 2 p.m. Pacific today. And we have a huge 2023 announcement. So please be sure to be on that call or listen to the replay. You can get live call-in details by emailing us at contact@kaira.com. So, okay. So as I mentioned, I had this major meltdown with pretty much all of my technology during the last Mercury retrograde. And in all fairness, I had received an intuition for 3 weeks that this was about to happen, and I ignored it. Okay. There's a very real life teaching moment. I was so busy. I've been navigating so much with multiple companies and the foundation that I kept saying, yeah, I'll get to that. Thank you for the reminder. And then, yeah, towards the end of the retrograde, everything exploded. And then trying to get everything upgraded and moved over and updated everything just kept not working. And I was like, wow, okay, this is really, really pushing my bandwidth because my whole reality happens around text messaging and WhatsApp threads, and none of that was working. So yesterday I was at the cell phone service shop, and there was this one person that was helpful but not totally helpful, and was really almost kind of overly inquisitive, like to the point where it made me uncomfortable. And I very gently made a joke about it, and it pretty much was like kind of like in a nice way, can you please back off a little bit? Like I don't need 20 questions. Well, uh only a part of what I could do could happen yesterday at the shop. Hi, and welcome to the live. And I'm sharing a real life personal story I promise the story will unfold into the teaching moment. So there was another woman that helped me last night. Like 3 people were trying to help me yesterday, and we only got part of it done. And so they said, well, come back tomorrow. So I came back today, and none of those other people were there. It was just the guy that we had sort of had a bit of a, like, it wasn't even bad. It was just, when someone is kind of a little bit like, oh, she didn't give me what I wanted, and now I feel a little weird about it. That kind of like subtle passive aggressive situation, but he was a nice guy. So there was something subtly going on that I didn't pick up on right away. I'm going to tell you how I picked up on it. And all of this is to support you with your own intuition. Hi, so glad you made it to the live. Support your intuition when it comes to navigating the ancestors of others. So here we go. I'm back in the cell phone shop this morning, and literally I was praying with the Ascended Masters last night, and one of my team angels, like, this technology thing, like, we're calling on Archangel Michael, we're calling in Isis, like, we've got to get this sorted. And so when I rolled up to the cell phone store this morning, I was like, it's gonna happen. I've got Isis here with me, Archangel Michael's by my side, we're gonna make this happen. And I walk into the shop, and the only person that's there is that guy. And I was like, oh, well, that's a little awkward. Okay, so wonder what the temperature is with this guy. So I, share with him a little bit what's going on. I told him, I was on the phone for an hour this morning with customer support and they told me to come in, and he was like, oh yeah, okay, well, it looks like the actions that were taken yesterday, they're not going to complete for another 4 hours. So you're going to need to come back. And I said, no, that can't be possible. Like, I literally have multiple things with my business that are pending this going live. And I just very gently and respectfully requested, like, is there a manager here? Can I talk to somebody that might have higher clearance to push things through? Like, I genuinely, from my business, I need to get this taken care of now, this morning. So we tried a few more things. He's like, look, this is really not going to happen, and you really need to come back in a couple hours. And I was like, man, I don't want to push it. I don't want to make this guy uncomfortable, but like, something doesn't feel right about this. And so I just said, all right, I'm kind of in shock right now because I keep trying and I have an intuition that this can still work, but I'll come back later. So I left the store and I'm walking out of the mall, and I literally get only one store away, and Isis stops me in my tracks and she's like, girlfriend, no, get back in the ring. This guy can make something happen for you. He's just not letting it happen. You turn yourself back around and you get back in that store and you get back in the ring of what's going on here. And I'm going to help you. She's like, call on me. And I was like, all right, Isis, I call upon you. Like, surround me in your wings and show me what I got to do to break through with this like tech chaos that must come to an end, So I go back into the store, and I hope you're enjoying this story. It's kind of a goofy story, but here's the teaching point. So I go back in and I very respectfully, gently, lovingly, yet firmly share, hey, I just have this feeling that there is something we can do before I leave. Can we please just double check something, anything? I don't even know what the words exactly were, what I said, but I felt Isis come to me in my mind, and she said, with her wings around me, Kaia, you know what to do. Bless him and bless his ancestors right now. And I just closed my eyes. I don't think he knew what I was doing at all, obviously. I took a deep breath and I said to this man, from my mind to his mind, I bless you and I bless your ancestors forever. It was as simple as that. I am not kidding you. Within moments, he said, hold on. He turned tail, went into the back room, and didn't come out for 3 minutes. He was back there on the phone with the cell phone management hierarchy, all that is, whatever happens in that back room. And he literally moved heaven and earth to make sure that this very difficult and complicated cell phone migration situation happened within minutes. Literally, the moment after I said in to his mind, I bless you and I bless your ancestors forever, he literally did a 180, a physical 180, and he was like, I'll be right back. He didn't hear me say that. He didn't hear my physical voice say that. So, of course, for a moment, I'm standing there kind of stunned because I couldn't get this guy to budge in any way, no matter how, convincing, loving, inspirational I was. It was like nothing was working. Right. Okay. So, he's in the back room for a moment, and Isis came to me as he was, at first I was just stunned that he actually physically moved. He did a 180 and it felt like the energy had completely changed. And so I'm sitting there like, oh, wow. Okay. And Isis said, remember the blessing way. Remember that everyone, this, Kaia, everyone is always looking to receive the blessing. And I just was like, of course, Of course, that's what everyone's holding out for. Everyone is holding out for the blessing every time, every time. And within minutes, all of the that my head bashing into a wall, wondering why this wasn't working for the past 24 hours. I spent more time in that cell phone shop than I care to admit. And it was resolved the moment I blessed the sales associate. So let's break down what's really happening. And it's something that I have to do a lot. Fortunately, I don't have to do as much, but it's still a teaching technique that I would love to share with you. So here's the thing. Light workers are the most conscious beings, and honestly, like, consciousness, awakened consciousness is a wide spectrum here. Not everyone's at a different place along the path. And again, there's no destination, as I shared yesterday, because enlightenment is not a destination, it's an ongoing journey across eternity. And how much you're willing to integrate of your awakened consciousness within your human operating system. Of course, in chapter 2 of the Sophia Code, where we learn about the divine genome that helps us anchor and integrate that awakening. And so one of the things that we need to know as light workers, and especially when we're dealing with souls on the other side of reality, is that those souls, and the soul that's standing in front of you in another human body, knows if you're walking around beaming a lot of light, which chances are chances are good that you're the brightest light in the room wherever you go. That means everyone's going to want the blessing from you. So let me just reiterate this again. If you are the brightest light in the room, and chances are good that you are, everyone's going to want the blessing from you, because you are practicing how to abide in Christ consciousness. You are practicing how to embody your higher self and your divinity. Does this resonate with you? Please share in the chat if this is landing, this concept that you are the brightest light in the room, and therefore you are the one that every other soul in the room is seeking the blessing from. Did you know that? Does this make sense? Have you found this to be true for yourself, consciously or unconsciously? All right, that's step number 1. Step number 2, the power of blessing someone is in the very words of saying, I bless you. There's nothing else to it. The word is literally so powerful, it happens on command. And so if you are interacting with someone at the post office, the grocery store, in a parking lot, maybe at a church meeting, or a parent, teacher, student meeting, like, where someone is just digging their heels and they are giving you a bit of a hard time, and they're really not budging about what can happen, when you know in your heart of hearts, you're getting red flags of like, no, I intuitively know that what they're saying is not accurate. I know better. I can feel it. I don't have all the solutions. Like, for example, and I'm the cell phone shop, I don't know what it takes to turn that phone on and get it working right. But I intuitively knew it could happen that morning, without a doubt, because that's what Isis told me to do. She marched me down to that shop this morning. And then when I tried to leave, she marched me back in. She said, girlfriend, no, you get back in that rodeo and you get in there and you work with Christ consciousness to help this person move his energy. So number 3 is that people don't want to stay stagnant. They don't want to be resistant to you. Most people actually want to be helpful. They want to move reality for you. This is what I've found. Most people do not want to be annoying, resistant, arrogant, weird people. They actually want to be helpful. But if they are lacking an experience of being blessed by their own consciousness, or blessed by others, and they also have ancestors that desperately need the blessing, they are going to start behaving in strange ways in front of you until you say those words. I bless you, and I bless your ancestors. It's really that simple. Those words are so powerful. And what happens is their ancestors and their own consciousness stops stagnating and locking you down, because it's almost like hard gripping you in that moment to get you to say those words. Like when somebody's really kicking up a shitstorm and they're really giving you a hard time, what they're begging you for is the blessing. They're begging you to see the divinity within them that is begging for the blessing. It's so strange because all of this is happening in a very telepathic and psychic and intuitive dynamic, but it is happening, and it is happening wherever you go. So if you're having an experience where things are not running smoothly, where just like the experience I'm sharing about the cell phone situation, it's like, take a moment, take a deep breath, and just in your mind, say to that person and their ancestors, I bless you and I bless your ancestors. You're not healing their ancestors. You're not healing them. You're not doing anything for them that they're not in an exchange for. You're simply saying, I'm blessing you because I have the power to bless you. Everyone, the Sophia Code says that every single soul has the power to bless anything in all of creation and anyone. A blessing is not reserved for a priest or a pastor. And I want to shout that from the top of this roof, because for too long, that divine right to bless others and to bless reality has been somehow separate in our minds and relegated to some church hierarchical power structure. And we need to take our power to bless back. So ultimately, what's really happening in life, really break it down, this is what's really happening. Everything and everyone wants your blessing. Everything and everyone in all of creation wants to somehow interface with everyone and everything else as a blessing through respect. Like if everyone has the divine spark within them, that divine spark wants to be recognized, wants to be honored. And what's the highest form of an honor? I bless you. Bless you. Like the word bless is so blessed. It's miraculous. It's filled with divine love. It's filled with honor. It's literally, it has no judgment or charge in it at all. You don't even have to like the person to bless them. You don't even have to believe in a word they're saying. Because if the spark of divinity is within them, as God has created all souls with that divine light, then you're not speaking to the weird human ego structure, the weird human operating system that's so, off course. You're speaking to the light of their soul, and you're saying, I recognize that part within you, and I recognize that light within your ancestors as well. Even if your ancestors may be suffering and caught in a time loop, clearly because you're digging in your heels, you be digging in his heels like that. I'll tell you why. Many, many, many people do not realize that they're trying to transmute their ancestors' pain through their own human journey and through their own human body. And that's why this event on October 15th in Scottsdale, Arizona, Love from the Other Side, is what I created to help bring education, awareness, consciousness, and empowerment around these very subtle and life-changing subjects, such as how to navigate other people's ancestors and to do it in a way that feels clean and clear and safe for you, and helps you live in greater flow in this world. Because everything that we do and need and create in this world involves co-creation. It involves exchanges. It involves transactions. It involves the other, over and over and over again. We are continually interfacing. So how do we interface with others in a sovereign way? We bless them. Bless them. So if someone is digging in their heels, like this gentleman was earlier today, it means that he's really concerned that his ancestors, number one, are probably impacting him in a strange way. And number two, he wants to help them. So although he'll never know that him digging in was actually because he cares so much about himself and his ancestors, and he saw a solution because a part of his soul recognized a part of my soul. And that part of his soul was like, get the effing blessing from that girl now. Don't give her what she wants until you get the blessing. I'm like, yeah, that's reality. Pretty transactional. And that's okay. That's okay. Everyone wants the blessing. Everyone wants the healing. What if it was our great get to be the blessers? I mean, what does that say? It means your real spiritual job, your real divine purpose is to recognize, right? That compassionate witness that recognizes the Christ within all. The Christ within you that has the power to bless the Christ within another. The Buddha within you that has the power to bless the Buddha within another. It's just like, you don't have to like them. You don't have to like their human outfits, their human jumpsuit. But if you want to have a more smooth day, you better bless them. You get to see the great cosmic joke about life. Just like, oh wow, everything really is the great get to of serving divinity within all that is. And that really, like, the power of blessing another is really an initiation into more Christ consciousness. And here's the thing, the more you activate your psychic senses, the more that you come into awareness of your intuitive abilities, the more you integrate your intuitive abilities, the more that you're going to sense about this spirit world activity, about these ancestors that are surrounding everybody in a human suit. Garants, no, everyone's got ancestors. So either ignore it and pretend it's not there, or you could learn about it, like how I'm teaching and love from the other side. It's just like, if you want to know the chess game, this chess game, everybody comes into this world with ancestors. And many families have ancestors with massive trauma. You're not responsible for clearing all that. But if you come into contact with somebody who's got ancestors that see you through that human's eyeballs, and they're like, we want the blessing from that lighthouse. One of the ways you're going to recognize it very quickly is something is off. Someone's digging in. They're not moving. They're not budging. And just like this guy in the cell phone store. And then the moment you recognize it and you say, I bless you and I bless your ancestors. I didn't even say I bless you and I bless your ancestors. I said, I bless you and I bless your ancestors forever. I was like, whoa, that's a long time. I mean, it's like, the words are what the words are, and the blessing is the blessing. It's just like, I don't have to figure out how a blessing goes on forever. All I have to know is that that's what I set into motion. The 180 he did was so physical. It was almost like a soldier snapping their hand up to their forehead and then plopping their arm down and beelining it to where he could literally go do the job he needed to do to make me a happy customer and to resolve my phone issue. And I was like, oh my God, you can't make this up. This is beautiful. Like, thank you, Sophia God, for showing me that every moment of every day is the prayer that is praying us. Every moment of every day is the opportunity to practice our divine superpowers to bless and to unconditionally love others and to unconditionally witness others, not change them, not fix them. That's codependency. But to be a witness to the power of what happens through the higher self divine exchange. If we are listening with our higher senses, we are playing chess, not checkers in this physical reality. Was that a fun conversation? It was really fun for me to share. Feel free to share your thoughts and reflections either in the chat or in the video comment replay. And please, thanks, Veronica. She's like, so beautiful, tears. Veronica's one of our certified Sophia Circle leaders. Love you, Veronica. Good to see you on today's live. So yeah, please take a moment. If you enjoyed this, like this video, add your comments, not just in the chat, but in the video replay. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell notification because Yeah, that's how you'll know whenever I go live. I try to go live around noon, but this is a free ministerial offering and I'm running multiple companies. So I go live when I can go live. It's just that simple. And I'm so grateful for your understanding about that. And yeah, so if you're curious about these very high level teachings that I'm going to be dropping like jewels everywhere, in Scottsdale, Arizona, this is a in-person event. It's live. It's on Saturday, October 15th. You can get tickets at my website at kaiarod.com. There's also links in the chat. And yeah, this has been really great to be able to share this with you. And please come join us in an hour for the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. It's going to be an amazing experience. You can get the Zoom link from my team Angels by emailing us directly. And I can't wait to share our special announcement for 2023. Thanks, everyone. This was so much fun. All my love to you. Namaste.